These insane teens, for some reason, decided to go after another teen with a crowbar, all to make an example out of him? When this guy was running from the police, he decided to do it on a lawnmower? This successful TV anchor, along with her husband, decided to teach about how to scam the government. And this guy was trying to steal a Corvette, except he got stuck in the car without a way to start it. What are some of the dumbest crimes people commit? Let's find out, starting with number 5, throwing it all away. Back in February of 2015, a quiet Satellite Beach neighborhood was devastated by an incident that nearly ended 17-year-old Daniel Vukovich's life. Dylan Thomas, then 17, and a couple of his friends, Jessie Umberger and Rebecca Gotay, went after Vukovich because they thought he had stolen some of their illegal plants. The trio, who had already dropped out of school and were living independently of their parents, plotted the incident as part of their escalating involvement in their own illegal activities. So, as Vukovich left for school that morning, their plan unfolded with devastating consequences. Thomas brutally went after Vukovich with the crowbar, while Gotay and Umberger helped out by driving him to and from the scene and getting rid of the evidence. What happened to Vukovich was so bad that first responders thought someone had used a firearm on him. He sustained life-altering damage, requiring multiple surgeries, and faced ongoing physical and psychological challenges. The legal repercussions were significant. Dylan Thomas pleaded guilty to second-degree attempted and was sentenced to 10 years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. Judge James Earp opted to sentence Thomas as an adult, explaining the gravity of the crime despite his young age, which makes total sense. If he wants to think he's a big boy and leave his parents' house, he's going to get treated like one when he does something this serious, right? Both Umberger and Gotay pleaded guilty to second-degree felonies, carrying up to 15 years in prison. Their sentencing was influenced by their cooperation with the prosecution in securing Thomas's conviction. Throughout the court proceedings, remorse and the immaturity of the defendants were recurring themes. Defense attorneys argued that the teens acted out of emotional immaturity and tried to lean on Thomas's troubled background and impulsive behavior. However, the judge cared more about the deliberate nature of their actions and refused to be lenient just on the basis of youthful offender guidelines. Social media also played a starring role in showing just how dumb this trio really was. Not only did they use their platforms to brag about the attack before and after it happened, handing investigators all the evidence they needed on a silver platter, but one of them, Jessie Umberger, managed to go above and beyond. While out on bond, she decided to take a selfie and post it online, blatantly ignoring the court's no smartphone rule. Posting a selfie while out on bond after being associated with such a heinous plan, even if it was allowed, makes it seem like Jessie clearly wasn't grasping the seriousness of what happened. Like, you'd think she'd be laying low for a while, right? But instead, she needed attention, and her dumb move got her bond revoked, which landed her right back in jail. Vukovich, who remained stoic in court, focused on recovery, though his family shared the toll the incident took on their lives. As of the release of this video, the latest available information on Vukovich was that he recovered from his injuries. However, in 2016, he faced legal issues of his own, being arrested on illegal substance charges. It's ridiculous that these kids got so worked up over a stinky plant of all things. Going after someone that viciously over something so trivial is a wannabe cartel move. Like they were avenging a shipment that had serious weight. Calling it an overreaction doesn't even begin to cover it. As far as we know, there haven't been any major updates about any of them, aside from Vukovich continuing to struggle with substance issues. Hopefully, they've managed to turn their lives around since all of this, but we doubt it. Number 4, slow getaway. In an unusual series of events rarely seen outside of Lego City Undercover, James Mitchell Kerr, 41, attempted to evade arrest in Leoni Township, Michigan by fleeing on a riding lawnmower. The whole thing exploded when Jackson County Sheriff's Deputy Robert Henderson tracked down Kerr to serve a felony probation violation warrant for failing to pay child support. Kerr had apparently refused to get off the mower and instead accelerated to a blazing speed of somewhere around 5 to 10 miles per hour, initiating a jogging speed chase. The brief pursuit eventually ended in a ditch, where Kerr still ignored commands to stop, then briefly complied, but he was just pretending because he then quickly ran back to the mower. Video footage showed Kerr then grabbing a firearm he kept on the mower, because where else is he going to keep a firearm other than his lawnmower, prompting Henderson to immediately tase him. The resulting shock caused Kerr to unintentionally go off, creating a hole in his own hand. Henderson, unharmed during the encounter, immediately called for backup. Kerr received treatment at Henry Ford Jackson Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries before being taken to jail and has since been charged. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office requested an independent investigation by the Michigan State Police, while their internal review found Henderson's actions justified, which seems like this really wouldn't be much of a question. Sheriff Gary Schuett emphasized the inherent dangers of routine law enforcement duties. Body camera footage released through a Freedom of Information Act request captured the bizarre sequence of events. It showed Kerr's disregard for commands, his decision to arm himself, and the quick escalation of the situation. As of the release of this video, Kerr's trial is ongoing. Honestly, there's a lot of dumb stuff that happened here from top to bottom. But Kerr is lucky that the cop had such a level head. Pulling a firearm after a chase is a good way to lose your life. He had already had his taser drawn, which was reasonable, but could have just as easily had his firearm drawn, which would have had dramatically different consequences. We're not sure why Kerr went for a firearm, though. Did the guy just not want to pay for his kids that much that he'd just rather go down in a blaze of glory? If he was just trying to take his name out of the running for Father of the Year, we'd say he's effectively done that. Number 3. Rich Sticky Fingers. The mother of Kansas City Chiefs player Rashee Rice, Marsha Kearney, got into legal trouble after allegedly stealing a package containing Chappelle Roan records from her neighbor's porch. The incident went down in North Richland Hills, Texas, and was captured on the neighbor's Ring camera. After her neighbor contacted police and gave them the footage, an arrest warrant was issued, and Kearney promptly surrendered to authorities. This isn't Kearney's first time getting in trouble with the law. Previously, she was charged with theft involving household items such as food, tumblers, and laundry products. That case was dismissed after Kearney fulfilled unspecified conditions set by the court. Meanwhile, Rashee Rice, currently in his second NFL season as of the release of this video, Rice's rookie season saw him contribute significantly with 79 receptions, 938 yards, and 7 touchdowns, helping the Chiefs secure a Super Bowl win. Basically, the guy is pretty good. Rashee Rice also faced controversies of his own. He was involved in a multi-car accident while racing on a highway in Texas, leading to 8 charges and potential NFL disciplinary action. Additionally, he was accused of popping a photographer at a nightclub, though no charges were filed after the alleged victim declined to pursue the matter. As of the release of this video, Kearney's legal issues have since been resolved. The mail theft charge against her was dismissed after she completed a theft intervention program, 24 hours of community service, and paid court costs. We're glad that it's done and over with, but the whole story is weirdly dumb, isn't it? First, Miss Rice most likely has no reason to need to steal anything if her son is playing in the NFL. The guy is a millionaire. Unless they've got some really bad relationship that we're unaware of, we're sure he would have just bought her some Chappelle Roan records. Second, if she got caught grabbing a neighbor's package, she should have just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was my package that got delivered at the wrong house. Whoopsies," and just give it back. It seems she could have probably gotten away with it, trying to pass it off as a simple accident. Anyways, just a reminder, we are a channel that's discouraging doing any crimes. Number 2, teaching fraud. In a baffling twist of irony, a couple who once claimed to help small businesses navigate COVID-19 relief funds have been accused of exploiting the very system they purported to assist. Stephanie Hawkridge-Reese, known as a former TV news anchor for ABC 15 in Phoenix, Arizona, and her husband Nathan Reese are facing serious charges from the U.S. Justice Department for allegedly masterminding a fraudulent scheme to secure Paycheck Protection Program loans, known as PPP loans, during the pandemic. Because just when you thought we already caught everyone trying to scam PPP loans, it turns out we haven't. Blueacorn, a company founded during the pandemic to help struggling businesses secure COVID-19 relief funds, is now at the center of an alleged fraud scandal. Investigators uncovered a shocking pattern of misconduct, including falsified documents, coaching others to commit fraud, and prioritizing larger, more profitable loans over smaller, legitimate applicants. What was supposed to be a lifeline for small businesses allegedly became a machine for exploiting relief programs, with Blueacorn reportedly raking in nearly $300 million in profits while charging illegal fees and facilitating fraudulent loan applications. These activities were exposed through employee testimonies, internal communications, and congressional investigations into COVID-19 relief misuse. The evidence paints a shady picture, leaving many to wonder if the company's mission to help small businesses was ever genuine, or just a cover for greed. What truly makes this case stand out as one of the dumbest crimes is the sheer recklessness of teaching others how to defraud the government. Prosecutors allege that the couple recruited referral agents to guide borrowers in falsifying PPP applications, effectively spreading a playbook for fraud. This level of coaching isn't just illegal, it's blindingly stupid. Committing fraud while trying to stay under the radar is bad enough, but openly teaching others to do it? That's a whole new level of arrogance. It's a strategy that guarantees you'll get caught while multiplying the harm done to legitimate businesses that desperately needed those funds. You're basically ensuring any punishment you receive once you do get caught will be even more severe. The fraudulent schemes allegedly included fabricating payroll records, tax documents, and bank statements to make ineligible businesses and individuals appear qualified for PPP loans. Adding to the audacity, Hawkridge Reese and her husband reportedly pocketed $300,000 in PPP loans themselves. And if that weren't outrageous enough, Nathan Reese allegedly claimed to be a black veteran to secure a loan, a claim as false as it was opportunistic. Not only was he not a veteran, but he couldn't even plausibly be mistaken for African American. This brazen lie undermines the program's intent and exploits categories designed to help underserved communities. The couple's alleged actions are a masterclass in greed, overpowering any sense of responsibility. Their Slack messages even showed their calculated indifference towards small businesses, with Hawkridge Reese bluntly dismissing smaller loans as unworthy of attention. But what really takes the cake is their decision to train others to commit fraud. In a digital world where every transaction leaves a trail, imagining that this scheme could go unnoticed is almost laughably naive. Realistically, if you're going to commit any sort of crime, you want less people to know about it, not more. If convicted, Hawkridge Reese and her husband could face decades in prison, a fitting conclusion to a scheme built on exploiting a national crisis for personal gain. As of this video's release, the case is still ongoing. Number 1. Trapped. In Miami Beach, an absurd encounter unfolded when a would-be thief managed to trap himself in the Corvette he was trying to steal. The man, identified as 33-year-old Ravesh Rabindranath, wound up begging for help from the car's owner because he couldn't figure out how to open the door, which is possibly the dumbest reason to get caught stealing. The car owner, Julio Solano, only to spot Rabindranath awkwardly stuck in the driver's seat. So, naturally, Solano began recording the interaction. The footage shows Ravesh pathetically asking if he could be let out, only to be met with a pretty firm response of, "No, you can't get out," followed by, "We're calling the cops." Solano later explained that the car's security features rendered it inoperable without the key, and the thief was clueless about the manual door release conveniently located under the seat. For someone attempting to steal any car, you'd think they'd at least take the time to do some research before stealing the car, right? At the end of the day, if you don't understand how the car you're trying to steal works, then attempting to steal it isn't just unethical, it's plain stupid. Modern vehicles, especially luxury ones, are equipped with a ton of advanced systems that deter theft, something Rabindranath should have known. Miami Beach police eventually freed Rabindranath from his self-imposed jail and promptly took him to theirs. As of the release of this video, he's facing charges of burglary of an unoccupied conveyance with bail set at $2,500. For Solano, this odd morning encounter wound up being a memorable testament to his car's robust security features. He also took measures to warn nearby exotic car rental companies about potential risks because he's cool like that. It's funny that Rabindranath tried asking to be let out when he was caught, as if Solano was going to be like, yeah, sure. Hey, the door confused me too. No shame in that one. It took forever to remember how to do it. You can't blame him for trying, though. When you've got nothing to lose, you might as well shoot for the moon, right? Click to watch one of these next videos.